I think of the life of the miner who must work all his day underground, where his lamplight is all that will shine there, and it's dark and it's damp all around. It is 2 or 3 miles to the coal face, and the tunnel is jagged and low, but he cannot find work on the surface, so it's down in the mines he must go.
And you're very welcome back to the Arigna Mining Experience as we continue on with our interviews with some of the former miners that would have worked in the Arigna mines over a number of years. As you can see, it's approaching Christmas. We're joined by Mickey Joe McLoughlin, first of all, this evening, to look back on some of Mickey's memories from the coal mines. And speaking of Christmas, Mickey, and as you were heading into that time of the year in the mines, always a busy time of the year in the winter, and that's when there'd be a big demand for coal.
Oh yes, the back end of the year coming up for Christmas, a big demand for coal. Oh yes.
And would the length of the day in any case change depending on how busy it would be, or would everything more or less be done on tonnage work?
It would be all done on tonnage work. When you were taking out the coal, you were paid by ton, and the way you worked, you had so many yards to take out. You had, say, 6 yards right, 6 yards left, and straight ahead, a yard and a half ahead, which amounted to about 26, 28 hutches, maybe 30 hutches in cases. It all depends on the height of the coal. The coal varied from 18 inches to 20 inches in around. That'd be the height of the coal.
The amount of time off at Christmas, would there be long holidays in the mines over a Christmas period?
The holiday, no. You'd be off, we'll say, you'd work, when I started in the mines, you'd work Christmas Eve, half day Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And on Christmas Day, St. Stephen's Day, and you'd be back the Tuesday, or maybe definitely on the Wednesday after that week.
After that.
So that was it.
So it was fairly short.
Now, you might have 2 or 3 extra days in some cases, but normally you'll be back the day after St. Stephen's Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about, say, the likes of New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, you'd have the bank holidays off?
They were bank holidays, you were paid for those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a time as well, would the mines have closed for church holidays?
Oh, yes.
In the past?
When I started working first, the mines always closed on a church holiday.
Yeah.
Yes. They would say the 6th of January be a church holiday. Well, it's Paddy's weekend, all like that, all them church holidays.
Right.
We all for all.
All those off.
Yeah.
And the fact that a lot of the mines would be closed on, say, a bank holiday Monday, would that have factored in at all, in the sense, would you have had a Tuesday off if there was a bank holiday or anything like that?
Oh, no. No.
Right.
And I often will say, when the bank holiday come in, there'd be men out maybe working the bank holiday, where there'd be maintenance during the mines, which I don't have myself.
Yeah.
But a lot of the men would be off, I'll say. But in a lot of cases, there would be lads out doing maintenance work on bank holidays.
Take me back to your early memories of the mines. What age were you when you started?
Well, I left school. I spent 3 years in Dunchamber in the secondary school, and I went to the mines 15 I have, touching on 16. I started in the mines, and the first job I held in the mines, we'll say, when you start in the mines, you'd be coping. That'd be emptying the hutches outside.
Yeah.
And the next, you might be on the clips, where you hooking on the hutches onto the aerial rope. Now, you might get 3 to 6 months at that job. And the next job in the mines, then you're back inside into the face and you're drawing coal. So I spent 7 to 8 years drawing coal, and then I was working to the coal face, digging out the coal by air pick for a couple of years. And then the last years I worked down in the mines, I was shoveling the coal. Now, the coal was cut by the coal cutting machine. And how that worked, the lads would be out at night on the shift starting at 12 o'clock, we'll say.
The back shift?
Yes, the back shift men, what their job was, they were brushers.
Right.
Where the coal was sticking out, we'll say today, maybe a yard and a half or 2 yards ahead, they had to take down the stone or the slate and backfill in where the coal was taken out during the day.
Would the coal cutters be on a kind of an evening shift then?
They would.
Yeah.
They'd come in, we'll say, any time from about 8 o'clock in the evening.
Right.
And they'd change the picks in the coal cutting machine, and there'd be 3 of them involved. Be a man in the haulage, a man driving the machine, and then a man putting up pillars. And if things went well, now in a lot of cases they'd be cutting 24, 25 places, maybe 26. And their shift maybe starting at 8 to 9 o'clock, and if things went well, they could be out at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was often later in cases. It all depends how the work was along the face. And then when you'd be working in places where you'd have a lot of water and that, now that was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That slowed everything down.
Yes.
When you started outside the pit, Mickey, and you were looking at the various jobs, say, coping the coal, putting on the tags and the hutches or whatever, how did you feel then when you knew the time was coming up that you were getting closer and closer to the eye of the pit and closer to going in? Was there an excitement about that? Was there maybe a chance that, well, here's a chance to earn a few pound more at the time? Or was there any kind of almost a level of fear or interpretation going into the...
No. You'd be looking for, when you spend 3 to 6 months outside, you had a shift, you were on a shift rate. Yeah. Now that'd be with where you were coping and putting on, clipping on. But when you went to the face, then you were drawing the coal, you were paid by the tonnage, which meant you were on bigger money, and that was we were looking forward to that.
Yeah, that was the big plus on it.
And then when you, after a few years drawing the coal, then you could be drawing the coal, which I was for about 8 years. I went down the mines, digging out the coal, and I spent times brushing as well on the night shift.
Okay.
I actually worked up here behind me and down the buggy, and I spent 10 years up at Flynn, out in Flynn there. Right. And the job I done at Flynn's mine mostly was shoveling the coal. Now we did do a bit of brushing there as well. Right. So actually I done all that kind of work in the mines. Okay.
Yeah. So you'd worked with Flynn and Leahy or Flynn's...
I did.
Yeah.
Up to the day the mines closed, I worked with Flynn and Leahy.
Did you ever work on the Rigdon collieries or any of those?
I did. That's where I started in the mines.
That's where you started.
I did, yes. Yeah.
Talk to me about some of the men that you started with, and some of them you would have walked right through, right up until 1990 alongside.
Well, a lot of the miners, we'll say where I used to had working for, a lot of them got sick and died young enough, you know. A lot of them wouldn't have been around in 1990, you know. Yeah. Now, there was lads that I was working with up in Flynn and Leahy mines. You had, we'll say, Michael McDermott, Pat McManus, all them lads, and Paddy McNamara, all them, they worked up to the day the mines closed, you know. But a lot of the lads would say, up to the last 3 or 4 years, some of them now had passed on because a lot of them got into ill health enough in the mines, and because when you were down in the mines for so many years, you developed the dust and the bad air, and there was a lot of problems with that, you know. Yeah.
The conditions were tough. The work was hard.
Tough, yeah.
The money, as you said, was probably good for the time as well.
Definitely does.
But you were dealing with a lot of kind of the likes of interest rates were high. The cost of living was high back then as well.
Oh God, it was. Oh yes, but people got by, and the money was, you know, were quite happy with the rate of pay, you know. And as time went on, by the time the mines closed, the money was quite good, you know. Yeah. Yeah, it was. Oh yeah.
Take me up to 1990, Mickey, or maybe say 1989, and the word was circulating that the mines were going to close. You would have had some members of a very young family at the time.
Yes, that's right, yes.
What was it like, you know, with all these rumours circulating, and was there a lot of worry about the future?
There was a lot of worry about, because that rumour was going around for 2 to 3 years before the mines closed. And I myself had a young family and plenty more lads like me, you know. We were just saying it was going to be an awful blow to the area, which it was. Yeah. When the mines closed, you were talking about 350 jobs last year. So a lot of the younger lads then got jobs elsewhere, and I myself then spent a while working up at Hill Street Quarries, and I was back here then at the building of this mining museum here. I started from the very beginning, when it was talked about first. They were looking for miners, and I was one of them that opted to come back. And I spent 3 years at the building of the mine here, and then I came along and I done the tours here for 3 years. Yeah. So which work I did enjoy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, was it strange being back in the construction of the mining experience here, considering the fact that you've been working through the pits? And would you ever envisage that time that, well, they're going to be making a museum out of this in a few years' time?
We look forward, you know, when we started here, the mine was in poor shape. This mine had been closed for a number of years. So we look forward to getting it back to where it used to be. Right. I mean, the main road inside there, it was just a narrow road. And with the widening that and heightening it as it went along. And then as we go in here to the board, we call it here, there was 2 slopes going right and left. And I drove that slope myself.
When you walked here and down the Voggy?
No, in this mine.
In this mine, was it?
Yeah. Myself and a fella from Ballyfernan. And then you had Seamus Lee and he had Gina McPart, and there was 9 or 10 of us here.
Right.
And we spent 3 years to getting prepared for this one at the opening. I think it opened for the tours in April 2003, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So-
And it's been a huge hit ever since.
It has gone very well, and it's great to see it.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely. And it keeps alive the memories and the
So then
tradition
there were-
of the mining.
They were looking for tour guides then, of course, and it was ex-miners like myself, so I'd done the tours here for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot of other miners, you would have combined working in the pits here and doing some farming as well.
That's right. Doing a bit of part-time farming as well.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And that was very popular in the area where a lot of men would have
Oh,
kept
it
farms
was,
going.
because in the area here you had small holdings, and there wouldn't be too big a farmers now, but at the hours we worked, you see, the day shift man would say you start at 8 o'clock and you'd be home around 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then the night shift man went in at 4 and be back at 12. It gave you a good chance, to.
Did you?
to
You
prepare.
could walk around
You
it.
could definitely.
Walk around it.
Yeah.
You would have noticed a big change, I presume, in, say, the 35 years since the mines closed. When you look at maybe all the shops, pubs, businesses that were in full swing during the times of the mines
definitely.
and have now unfortunately ceased to trade, have stopped trading. So there's been a big economic impact in the area after the mines closed.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yes. So take now the town of Drumshanbo. We'll say you take a Saturday night there, so to be all, half a ring be in there. People women in shopping, and the lads having a few drinks or whatever. And same out in Ballyfair and there in Key. It's a big blow to the whole area for a big surrounding now. Because you had people working, say, from as far back as from Kieran and Geeve and all that area back here to Riggan again, It was a big letdown to the area now.
Yeah. The way the work was at the time, the work that you did, a question that's come up a few times in these interviews, if the mines were even open now, would they struggle to attract workers, do you think, in the current day and age?
Well, to be truthful, I think the younger lads now wouldn't be bothered, wouldn't have any interest in it now. No, I think not. Because they're closed so long now, I don't think that could happen.
Yeah.
No. But see, at my age group, my father had worked in the mines. All my uncles, the whole lot, as you know.
Yeah.
You see, it was kind of in our blood to go to the mines.
Yeah. And it was a
we
family trait.
were very happy down there, I have to say. Now, it was tough work now,
Yes.
but I have to say that every man had enjoyed the crack now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great too, I suppose, when you catch up with miners at different events and you meet them along the way. There's that great camaraderie there all the time, isn't there?
Yes. Oh, Jesus, definitely. Oh, yes. Oh, it was a great place to work in that time,
Yeah.
Oh, yes. But a lot of the folk that I worked with now, so a lot of them have passed on now,
And that's sad each and every year. We're unfortunately
Oh,
losing a few more
That's right.
ex-miners.
True, indeed. Oh, yes, true, yes. That's sad to see that happen.
It is,
It is
yeah.
indeed. It is.
Yeah.
It is indeed.
There's a lot of good memories from it, and I presume, as you mentioned there, the walk was hard, but I presume even on break times and stuff, always good fun, always great yarn tellers.
Oh, yes.
And any particular final question? Any particular memories like that would stand in your mind of maybe some of the lighter moments?
Well, we'd always have a bit of crack at break time. You'd always go out to the main road,
Yeah.
and we'll say, especially on a Monday or a Tuesday, and the crack for the weekend, the joke yourself. But it was very good crack then, It was.
That's what
We
the
all
fun
used
would
to,
be.
we used to go, we used to call it, we'd go out to the lie, out to the main road. That's where they'd all gather for a break time.
Yeah.
And there was always a
At
bit
that
of
time, it was the bottles of tea and
Oh,
whatever.
God, it
there
was. Oh, yes, and I was some years in the mines drinking the cold bottle of tea.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, indeed, surely.
It was an era before baristas and takeaway coffees.
Oh, none of that.
None of that.
None of that.
Mickey, they're great memories. Thanks a million for sharing them. And
Oh,
great
not
to
at
have
all.
you
You're
here doing
quite
these
welcome.
interviews.
I hope
Thank you very much indeed, Mickey.
might be some use to you, huh?
I think of the life of the miner who must work all his day underground, where his lamplight is all that will shine there, and it's dark and it's damp all around. It is 2 or 3 miles to the coal face, and the tunnel is jagged and low, but he cannot find work on the surface, so down in the mines he must go.